Honesty is easier when you have no face and no real name. And honesty for me is very easy on paper. Think about that. This is an amazing quote to start my introduction speech. It's interesting and it's a good way to introduce Sam's character. Did you feel a spark, an instant longing to describe yourself with those words? If so, then we have something in common, and together we can see a little of ourselves in Sam. The protagonist. Okay, now that's a little much. These two instances perfectly envelop the strengths and weaknesses of my introduction speech. It's beautiful and well written, but at times it's not personal. By showing clips of my introduction speech, I will convince college students interested in speech writing in Memphis to understand the elements that worked and the elements that didn't, in order for them to be better equipped to write their own. So join me in this critique of my introduction speech. Story that supports it. Let's start with the first layer. On the surface, Samantha Moore is a bookish, athletic introvert who uses the personas of Austen characters to face different situations. She quotes Austen regularly to the exasperation of her professors at the Medill School of Journalism, who want an original voice in her articles. Now don't be scared, I'm not an Austen fanatic like Sam. However, I could spend an hour in my head running through fictional plotlines, oblivious to everything else. Like her, I also use my daily run as a time of quiet reflection in an otherwise hectic schedule. Now for the second layer. This contains the substance of my speech, and, in my opinion, the best parts. I am comparing myself to Sam, while also admitting that our characters are not the same. While constructing the format, I had the brilliant idea to peel back layers of Sam and deconstruct her character and describe it, which is the purpose of the book. It was personal and it was beautiful. Vulnerability forced me to reflect on my own relationships, the own personas I had created. In conclusion, to address the beginning quote, you cannot unlock the world of creation when self-dishonesty is guarded. Both expressive speaking and faceless writing are not grown from within. Here is where my speech falls apart. It's not obvious, but let me explain. When you're writing a speech, it's important to remember that you only have one chance for the audience to understand your words, which is the moment you are uttering them. Unfortunately, this is not how my mind naturally works, and you can tell here. When you are writing something to be read, like a novel, poetry, or the ending of my short story, like I am doing here, it can often be as confusing as you want, because the reader can go back and read the words again if they don't understand the first time. However, when you are speaking, you only have one chance to speak your words. The rest relies on the audience's memory. So, when you're speaking metaphorically, like I am here, you have to account for that fact and explain a bit more. I did not do that in my introduction speech. In terms of delivery, I did well. I had good inflection, and, as you can see, I looked up at the audience at intervals to engage. However, I could have stepped from behind the podium and moved more. That way the speech would be more interactive. I also could have used quotes from the book as a visual aid on the screen to cement them in the audience's mind. This is a beautiful book. It deserves to be honored in my introduction, which is why, though the majority of my speech is good, there are a few areas I could have improved on. Now, college students have wisdom that I needed to write an introduction speech. Thank you.